Now, the teenagers terrorising families and taking on police.
We're starting to see the epidemic of juvenile crime being out of control.
Tonight it's been described as a teenage rampage, a spike in crimes committed by children as young as 13.
These kids know how to get away with it, so there's no repercussion.
The police can only do so much. You know, they have their rules where we don't.
I own Frank.
Does your child wear a bum bag, speak in pig Latin and get into strife at the train station? Beware, they could be an ESHAY, part of Australia's most despised subculture. Now, after I've said that, you might be thinking, am I making a joke here? Is this a serious thing or am I parodying the news? No, I'm happy to report that my name's Lewis Spears and news is beyond parody because this is a real headline that was put out by the Daily Mail. Before I do that, Lewis in Another Jacket is here to let you know that my Melbourne International Comedy Festival shows are on sale now. LewSpears.com, get your tickets, limited capacity because they are COVID-safe shows, so they are flying off the shelves. Weekend shows are going to fill up first. Grab your tickets now, Melbourne. Anyway, I'm sick of this jacket. I have here an entire article warning parents that their children could be Eshays, lads and ladettes, how to spot the symptoms and how to fight back. Let's check out this article and see what journalists have been working on. I think this article was sparked by the viral video that went nuts this week of the kid on a train punching adult men in the head and saying, I own Frankston.
I own Frankston. I own Frankston.
Hundreds of people sent me that video because they know that I actually live in Frankston, and I just want to say that it's not funny. There's nothing funny about that video. That kid's not lying. He literally does own Frankston. He's my landlord. He comes over to my house every single week, collects my rent, and punches me in the head. It's terrible, and it's nothing to laugh about. So let's see how they describe one of these ESHAY. An ESHAY is easily identifiable by wearing Nike TN trainers, hang on a minute, polo shirts, bum bags, puffer jackets, and luxury caps. These children sound like monsters. What's really terrible about relating to most of the things in this article is that I am not a teenager. I'm 27 years old. I'm like that 25-year-old guy that still listens to pop punk. Give it up, Luke Kidgel, it's over. You're not 15, you're 25. They prowl in packs, speaking their own mashed up language as they strut around town in designer sportswear and a generally menacing attitude. They sound like orcs dressed in Gucci. Come on, dude, I know a lot of Eshays. I live in Frankston. It's where they were born and raised. They're harmless unless you make eye contact, they're wearing nice shoes in their size, or are an Asian international student with a nice laptop. They're harmless. Eshays are a serious threat to polite society. Who is polite society? All right, Daily Mail, I'm looking at some of the other articles that you've released that are next to this one, and you just have like naked photos of Bachelor in Paradise contestants. Where are these polite society people? Because it's not you, and obviously it's not me. Where are they? Whatever the motive for urban teenagers with bad haircuts, donning Nike TNs and slinging bum bags over one shoulder, they are apparently overtaking the suburbs. Hey, I don't have a bad haircut. Oh wait, it's kind of blue. Yes, I do. Cap goes on. The rise of the Eshays reportedly striking fear into middle-class parents worried their children want to emulate a dangerous subculture. The rise of the Eshay, that sounds like a film I'd watch. Who's that directed by? Cursor? Where Eshays once predominantly came from disadvantaged backgrounds, their ethos is now more mainstream and widely promoted on social media. I actually agree with this. I think that this lad culture came from, you know, people from impoverished backgrounds, and now it's cool. Now you're seeing like private school kids dressing like they're poor, but you can tell they're not because they have 6 polos instead of 1 that they got from Savers. Give it up, Charles. You're not an impoverished youth. You're not scary. You're not from a bad background or a terrible suburb. You're not tough. Your parents own a hedge fund, bro. You're rich as. Just embrace it. Actually, maybe after this GameStop business, you will become impoverished and start living under a bridge next to me because I bought Dogecoin. Jeez, this article is really tearing me apart here. Favored labels for the fashionable Eshay include Ralph Lauren and Lacoste. I just can't catch a break here. Every paragraph is about me. He should give the impression he is looking to score drugs or moments away from robbing an innocent passerby of their belongings. Well, that's not me. I don't give off an air of either of those things. I have much more of a school shooter vibe. Some Eshays scramble words and put A on the end. It's a form of pig Latin. Eatswa means sweet, ilche means chill, but ailey day ailme does not mean news. In January, a young Eshay with a mullet threatened to bash an adult on a Melbourne train, which is going to be the most Frankston sentence ever. Like, really just starting a fight that you 100% cannot win is just the most Eshay thing ever, you know? That would be like me squaring up to Half-Thor, you know? We are the same height, but he's 3 times my size if we're talking width. Oh, fuck, I'm getting too hot to wear the puffer jacket. This is one thing that I don't understand about lad culture is wearing the winter clothes, because I understand you're racking the fashion from chavs in the UK, but we don't have their weather. We need to innovate. Like, take the jacket off, you're sweaty. The only thing scary about you is your BO. Oh, and your bad teeth and the drug habits. Those are pretty terrifying, but that's mostly your problem. Eshay may have started as Eshay Adlai, which means he's lad, or it might be related to sesh, which is a prolonged session of taking drugs. Let's be honest, that's the only thing Daily Mail have written that is 100% true. Something high risk is red hot, an idiot is a gronk, to staunch someone is to intimidate them, this is what I don't understand, often with an intense stare while the challenger's fists are held between their legs. Who's fighting like that with their fists between their legs?
You wanna fight me, you dog? Let's fucking go! Come on! Come on, you dog! Let's fucking give it a go, cunt!
Hardcore Eshays engage in assaults, robberies, and threatening behaviour, but many seem to wander the streets and hang around train stations aimlessly. It's not aimless, okay? I'm in this culture. They have a very clear goal. It is to finger girls and rob international students. Very clear goals. Do your fucking research, would you? Some are said to roll victims for their shoes and clothes, but such crimes are not widely reported. Yeah, because snitching is for dogs, duh. Their antics, which can include carrying weapons and taking drugs, are often filmed and posted on TikTok to widespread amusement. Thank God someone's posting something worth watching on TikTok. I'm sick of looking at white girls doing the woe. Let me see some fights and overdoses, please. Some real entertainment. The drill rap of groups such as Mount Druitt Outfit 1-4 is a popular accompaniment. This is why I hate the media. They will pick a subculture and just categorize it as bad no matter what type of person comes from it. 1-4 and many other Australian rappers often come from harsh backgrounds and make something of themselves and earn a legitimate living, and the media just want to trash them for it and constantly remind them of where they come from and categorize them as still being there. The police force will even do this. These rap groups that come from harsh backgrounds will put on shows to try and earn a legitimate living, and the cops will shut it down, citing weird, obscure laws that don't even make any sense, despite a very low track record of violence at these live shows. It's like, do you want these kids to progress from where they are and make a legitimate living, or are you trying to force these people to make dumb decisions that could send them to jail by taking away their only shot at making a real income because you think that maybe there'll be a couple of fights at a live gig? Have you been to a live gig? That's all of them. For fuck's sake, if you block someone's view at a K-pop concert, they'll pull your hair out and stomp you to death. Let the Eshays have a good night. Local police targeted youth crime over the Christmas holidays and warned parents to take an interest in where their children are, who they're with, and what they're doing. I mean, this is what it comes down to. Eshays aren't the problem. It's like, if you don't know where your kids are, they're gonna be stabbing people at the train station. That's the only thing to do. Look after your children. We've been inside for 110 days here in Melbourne, and then you're surprised that when your child goes out, he just wants to vent his frustration on an international student and take their shoes. It's the only thing to do in this fucking city. They shut down everything else. Only thing to do in Melbourne, other than see me live, of course, tickets in the description below. I will not be wearing any nice shoes or have any nice technology on me, children. Please leave me alone, but I will have some good jokes. Some of those jokes have been described as very antisocial, so I'm sure you'll love them. Dr. Terry Goldsworthy, Associate Professor of Criminology at Bond University, told The Telegraph Eshays have become prominent over the past 7 or so years. A few years ago, I'd never heard the term Eshay, but I think social media has something to do with it. No, Dr. Terry Goldsworthy, the reason you haven't heard the term Eshay is because you studied criminology at Bond University. The people who use the term Eshay aren't studying criminology, they're committing crimes, and the only bond they care about is the one they have to pay. As for university, what's that? Like me, all these kids failed high school. Unlike me though, they're all very good at math, mostly because of the buying and selling of drugs. And the article ends with, like any subculture, today's Eshay will be tomorrow's nerd. I suppose until then, today's Eshay will be beating the absolute snot out of today's nerd. Look, I know I don't need to state the obvious, but you don't need to be scared of teenagers just because they're wearing a certain type of shoe. They're just normal kids that are dressing in a certain way because it's cool at the moment, alright? And yes, it is cool. Look at me. Besides, I've been the main ambassador for Eshay culture for years. Have you heard, lads?
On the dole so long, motherfuckers wanna find me. First time you gotta find me. What's $2.50 a week to a lad like me? Can you please remind me?
I for one am stoked that Eshays are finally getting the recognition they deserve. You know what, lads? Godspeed. Not too much speed though. Some of you guys have been having Too much of that, clearly. And that's where I'm going to end today's video. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like, let the Daily Mail know that they suck, and grab your tickets to my Melbourne International Comedy Festival shows. Tickets are on sale now, and they are selling fast. LouSpears.com, Afterpay available. You can get it on tick. Some of you lads are going to love that. That's how your whole economy runs, all right? I'm Lewis Spears. Subscribe, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye.
Buy my shit, buy my shirts, buy my merchant, no one gets hurt. Buy my shit, buy my shirts, buy my merchant, no one gets hurt. Buy my shit, buy my shirts, buy my merchant, no one gets hurt. Buy my shit, buy my shirts, buy my merchant, no one gets hurt.